Okie dokie. And we're gonna come on over, and before we roll down, just kind of lean forward a little bit, get the hamstrings woken up slightly, and lean back. You can put your hands down, lift your chest a little bit, and let's start the rolling down process. And we're gonna start with our knees coming to our chest. You could put the ball in there and just take a deep breath. Squeeze the legs in and make some circles. And see about going in the opposite direction. And we're going to put our feet down and let's squeeze the ball. Activate the belly and roll the hips up and slowly down. So first of all, you feel how we're not coming up as high, and then each time lift a little bit more as the spine unwinds, and let's add the arms also with the hips, and that nice big pelvic tilt with the breath. And notice how the hips are stabilizing us. And let's do one more time. We're going to hold the hips up and the arms up there. And let's make some fists with the hands and then stretch the fingers out and do that again. And slowly bring the back down and arms out to the side and roll the shoulders down. Just take that deep breath. And we're going to roll the knees over to the right and look to the left and breathe. Let's start to take our left arm up over our head and stretch. And then slowly out to the sides, kind of dragging the arm. So we're going to work on our range of motion and do that a couple more times. And then we're going to try this on the other side. So slowly rolling the knees over to the left. And hips are even. And then start to reach the right arm up, dragging the hand on the ground with the arm up and out a couple more times, nice and easily. So underneath the armpit, we've got the lymph system that's all throughout our body, but there are some really good lymph sites right there. So just feel like they're opening up and helping us for detoxification. And we're going to come back to the center and bring the arms down. Let's roll the hips up again and walk the shoulder blades closer together. And lift even higher and take 3 breaths. And we're going to roll the hips back down. And let's change the ball now. So we'll take it out of our knees, lift the hips up and put it underneath our back. And let's bring the legs straight up toward the ceiling and bend. So we're going to do a few of these. Waking the knees up. You can even point and flex the feet. And if you want to make it a little harder, hands gently on the thighs. So we're really balancing on the ball. And now we're going to take the legs straight out. and in and up, and keep going that way. So a few more times out, in and straight up, and bend again. And how about 3 more times? And then we're going to bring the legs back to 90 degrees and tap both feet down and up. And just wake up the belly here. Notice how the hips are pressing down into the ball. Squeeze the legs, and let's do 5 more. And we're going to add on. So now let's put our hands behind our head, regular crunches, and lift and lower. So we're stabilizing not only with the hips, but with the shoulder blades. And then let's bring the legs back to 90 degrees. So we're just going to keep the knees stable, bringing the left elbow toward the right leg, and then switch. And try a few of these. Just the upper body is moving. And using the breath, exhaling up. And then we're going to put everything back down. Head down, feet down. Let's roll the hips up again. Walk the shoulder blades closer together. Kind of touch your feet with your fingers if you can. Press the feet down. 3 more breaths. So I know we've got the ball under here, but we're going to put our hands on our hips, lifting the hips even higher, and take another breath. It's kind of a stretch for the fingers too. And then let's put our back down on the ball again and take the legs up toward the ceiling and point and flex the feet. And we're going to make circles with our feet. And go in the opposite direction. And then open the legs out, straddle, and slowly close. And a few more like this. Each time legs are coming a little wider. And the next time we're going to reach the arms through, legs together, arms over the head. And 5 more. And then arms over the head, legs straight up, and roll the shoulders down. See if you can lengthen here. Take another couple of breaths, pressing the hips down. Feel how the ribs are rising and falling, lengthening with each breath. And we're breathing into the lower lungs. And then let's come into happy baby. And keep that breath going. And a couple more slow breaths. And let's bring our feet together, Baddha Konasana. And then a half happy baby, putting our left foot down, holding the right foot. So we can wake up that left hip flexor. And 3 more breaths. And let's switch legs. So right foot down, holding the left foot. And 3 slow breaths. And then let's put both feet down on the mat. And we're going to walk the feet together and squeeze and start to lift. So we're lifting with the hips and lowering just a little bit, squeezing the legs together, activating especially the legs and the glutes, but the pelvic floor also. And 5, 4, we're going slowly. 3, squeeze. 2, and then 1 more. Come up on our toes. Squeeze everything together and move the ball out of the way, and then roll the hips down and stretch the legs out on the mat. Reach the arms up. Flex the feet. Now we're going to lift the right leg up and just hold, press the right hip down. And take the right leg down and lift the left leg up. Take another deep breath, extending through the heel. And then left leg down. And let's roll to the side. And we're going to come on up to our seated position and sit cross-legged and roll the shoulders up, back, and down. Just kind of feel the difference in your body. Let's flip our palms up on our lap and take 3 breaths. Softening the eyes, the facial muscles, and feeling the whole breath. Now we're going to twist to the right. And then over to the left. And to the center, forward fold, walking the arms forward. And then walking the arms to the right. And over to the left. And then to the center, let's come on up. And we're going to reach both arms out and up, stretching the arms. And then bring the arms down and gently look down. And let's try that again. Inhaling up, stretching. Exhaling down, so lengthening the breath. Now we're going to take our right hand down, reach the left arm over. And then go to the other side and wake up the side. And let's try it again. Right one comes down, left arm over, maybe the forearm. And breathe. Roll the chest open. And now we're going to the other side, same thing. Left arm down, or maybe the forearm, right arm over. And we're coming back to the center. And let's come on over to a right side. We're going to be on our right forearm, on the right hip. And stretching the legs out, kind of feeling the lengthening of the whole body through the heels. And now we're going to come up in our plank on the right side, half arm, and reach the arm up. And then release, put the hip down. We're going to sit up, cross the left leg over the right, and we're twisting to the left and breathing. And just notice how the breath comes into the ribs and the back and the hips. And then let's come to the center, cross the knee over there, left knee over the right, Gomukhasana, and hinge forward a little bit or a lot. And one more breath. And let's come on up, and we're going to uncross and come on over on the left forearm as we stretch the legs out on our side, stretching through the heel. Now we're going to lift the hips up and reach the right arm up. And then let's come on down, and we're going to cross our right leg over the left as we twist to the right. And two more breaths. And then let's come into our Gomukhasana, so crossing the right knee over the left and forward fold if you like. And a couple more slow breaths. And let's release. So we're going to uncross and stretch the legs out in front of us and feel the hamstrings pressing down into the mat. And let's lean forward and back. So we're really stretching out the legs. And a couple more times in our rowboats. And the last one. And now we're going to come to the center, but put the hands down and the feet down. Let's come into table pose. So we're going to look up and then look straight ahead and start with 5 tricep push-ups. And we're going to walk forward into a squat and kind of release the low back And we'll take a few more breaths in our squat. And let's press the hips up, forward fold, and release the head. And we're going to come all the way up, hands to our heart. Take a deep breath. Let's twist the upper body to the right and then to the left. So from here, we're going to inhale the arms up, forward fold, and step the right leg back to a lunge, and reach the left arm up in a twist. Step back, down dog, and take another deep breath. Right leg lifts up and steps forward, and the left. And just let yourself come into a deeper forward fold, either bending and straightening, or just let the head release. And we're going to come all the way up, reaching up, a little back bend. Hands to our heart. Roll the shoulders down and twist the upper body to the left and the right and back to the center. Let's inhale up, forward fold, and step our left leg back to a lunge, and right arm up in a twist, and come back to down dog. And left leg lifts up and steps forward, and the right, halfway up, forward fold, and inhale all the way up. And hands to our heart. Feel the shoulders rolling down. We're going to come up on our toes and down on our heels, and 4 more, lifting and lowering, stretching the feet. And inhale up, exhale, forward fold. Let's step back to down dog and take a few deep breaths here to lengthen. And we're going to come into our child's pose, stretching the toes all the way down. Walking the arms to the right and over to the left. And then to the center and puppy pose. And let's come down to Sphinx. So here we're going to put the forearms down and the belly down and feel the lengthening. Start to feel how the spine is opening. And one more breath. Let's come into our half arm plank and extend through the heels and the back of the legs. And then we're going to come back to our child's pose. And let's try some iguanas. So we're going to reach the hips forward as we look up, just gently, and feel the spine opening. And do a few more. And last one. And we're we're going to come back to our child's pose and take 3 breaths. And then back to our down dog. And let's lift the right leg up and we're going to step it forward to a lunge and then a high lunge. So we're on our left toes, 3 breaths. And we're twisting to the right, crossing the arm over, hands together. And left hand down, right one up. Let's come back up to our high lunge. And then into down dog. So we'll put our hands down and step back. And then switch legs, so left leg lifts up and steps forward. And then our high lunge, reaching up, and 3 breaths. And twist to the left. Arm crosses over, hands together. And right fingers down, left arm up. And now let's come back to our high lunge, reaching up. 1 more breath. And then we're reaching forward, hands down, and step back, down dog. And take those breaths into the spine. And let's walk to the top of our mat. And come halfway up, forward fold, and inhale up. And let's bring our arms into goal post position. So we feel the chest opening here. We're going to lift the right knee up and hold. And take that right knee out and in 5 times. And 1 more. And then our warrior 3, right leg back. And into warrior 1. So pressing the foot down, reaching up, 3 breaths. And then arms reach forward, right fingers down, left arm up. And both arms up, palms together. And now let's clasp our hands behind us so we can come into humble warrior. And lengthen, forward fold, 3 breaths. And we're going to come up in our back bend, opening the throat. And then reaching the arms out and up, back to warrior 1. And let's step forward and come back to our Tadasana. Just feel. Notice the difference between the right side and the left side. So we're going to inhale our arms up and come into goalpost position with the arms. And now we're going to lift the left knee up and hold. And bring that knee open and closed 5 times. And 1 more. And then into warrior 3. And warrior 1. Reaching up 3 breaths. And arms reach forward, left fingers down, right arm up. And both arms up, palms together. And let's clasp our hands behind us and come into humble warrior. Inhale and forward fold, 3 breaths. And we're coming into our back bend, opening the heart. And then arms come out and up, warrior 1. Take a deep breath. And let's step forward and come back to Tadasana and take a few breaths here. Now noticing both sides of the body. Let's inhale up, forward fold, and come back to down dog. And take 3 breaths. And we're going to come into plank and back to dog. And do that a couple more times. Forward to plank, back to dog. And last time, we're going to stay in our plank. And then chaturanga, coming all the way down. And we're going to bring our arms over our head and breathe. Notice the back of your body and breathing into the ribs. Let's bend our right leg, holding the right foot, and press the hip down. And now we're going to switch legs and release the right one, and let's hold the left ankle and breathe. And let's put both legs down, and we're going to walk our hands underneath our thighs. And we're going to lengthen and lifting up and down. And see if you can get the upper body to come down at the same time as the lower body. And a few more. And this time we're going to come up last time and exhale down, reaching the arms out to the side. And let's put our right ear down on the mat and lift the left leg up behind us and lengthen it toward the right. So spinal twist, and keep reaching the right arm out. And 2 more breaths. And let's bring that leg back down to the mat. And we're going to put the left ear down on the mat, reach the right leg up, and reach it behind you in a spinal twist. And breathe. And 1 more breath. And let's come back to the center. And we're going to bring our arms into Sphinx. So let's put them back on the mat and roll the shoulders down. Just notice the difference of your breath in the belly and that the spine is longer. And 1 more breath. We're coming into half arm plank again. Extending through the back of the legs. And then into dolphin and walking the legs forward, coming up on the toes. And 1 more breath. And let's come into our child's pose and just bring our arms behind us. And 3 breaths. And we're going to sit up on our heels and let's clasp our hands behind us. So we're going to come into our rabbit pose. Inhale, looking up, forward fold and lift the hips. When your head comes down, arms over the head or wherever they are. And 1 more breath. And let's sit back on our heels and we're going to release our hands and just palms up on our lap and breathe. So feel the spine lengthening, just notice the breath. Let's twist to the right. And then over to the left. And we're going to come to the center and then hands and knees. So we haven't done any cat-cows yet. Let's do our little cat-cow here is super slowly to notice how the breath is coming into the back and the ribs. And ultimately the lower lungs. And we're stretching through the shoulders. And now we're going to come into a neutral spine. And let's lift the arms up, reaching them up over our head. We're on our knees and a little back bend. And then we're going to bring our hands back to the mat, so hands and knees again. And come in to thread the needle, right arm out to the right, thread it underneath the left. And 2 more breaths. And let's come back to the center. Take a deep breath. And now we're going to try the other side. Left arm out to the left, thread it underneath the right. And breathe. And a couple more slow breaths. And now let's come back to the center. So we're on hands and knees. Let's curl the toes under, lift the hips up. We're in a shorter downward dog, and as soon as you get there, come back. So bending the knees, they almost touch the mat, and lift back up. And feel as you do this, we're in perfect balance between the right side and the left side. Let's do one more and just stay in downward dog. And maybe you can even keep the heels up, bend the knees. And then putting the heels down, take another breath. Feel the lengthening of the spine. And let's lift the right leg up. We're going to come into warrior two. And stretch the arms out. And reverse. And let's slowly bring the right fingers, hover them down on the outside of the foot. Take a breath. And we're going to come back to reverse. So left arm down, right arm up. And then flow that hand back down where it was, hovering, and left arm up. Feel the opening in the chest, in the back. And let's come back to our warrior two. And Trikonasana, straightening the right leg. And we're going to come on up and do our wide-legged pose. So let's reach both arms out and take our right arm down, left arm up. Feel that stretch. And we're going to the other side, left arm down, right arm over. And then back, both of them come up over our head, into our back bend, a little one, and then forward fold, and into our transverse lunges. And then take another breath in the center, head releases. And let's come all the way up, another back bend to lengthen. And warrior two, we're going to turn our left foot out. And stretch through the arms, rolling the shoulders down. And reverse. And now we're going to slowly hover those fingers down on the inside of the left foot. Stretch the right arm up. Take another breath. And come back to reverse. And again, fingers almost come down to the inside of the foot, right arm up. And lengthen here. And then warrior two. Trikonasana. And feel that stretch again across the chest, through the whole spine. And we're going to come on up and reach both arms up. And let's clasp our hands behind us for our forward fold. We're going to inhale, stretch, and forward fold. And 2 more breaths. And then we're going to come on up and reach both arms up over our head and bring our hands to our heart, and let's bring our feet out for Goddess. So we're going to cross one of our elbows over the other and lift and lower the elbows just three times. And then uncross and try it on the other one is crossed over. And just 3 times, lifting the elbows up and lowering. So we're getting into the shoulder joint. And then just uncrossing the arms, goalpost position, and feel that stretch across the chest. And then inhale up, back to down dog. And let's walk to the top of our mat and hold our elbows for a deeper forward fold. And let's release the arms and come all the way up. Deep breath. Hands to our heart. And we're going to press our right foot down and come into tree. So left leg comes up somewhere, or make a kickstand, and arms come out and up. And last deep breath. And we're going to switch. So left foot down, and let's bring our right leg up for tree. Arms come out and up. And feel this widening with the arms, the stability of this pose. And one more breath. And let's release and bring our arms down by our sides. Roll the shoulders down and just notice your spine lengthening. How one vertebrae is stacked on top of another. Feel the breath. And let's make our way down to a squat. And reach your arms forward if you can, and breathe into anything that might still be a little tight. And then we're going to release that so we can roll down on our back and bring our knees to our chest. And feel how the head is relaxing down to the mat. And let's make a few circles with the hips, or anything else you might need to do, and circle in the opposite direction. And we're going to put our feet down and roll the hips up, stretching the back again. And feeling the complete breath coming through the belly, the mid-chest, and the upper chest. Let's gently roll the hips down and just come into an easy spinal twist, whatever side. And just allow any extra release in your body as you breathe. Relaxing the jaw and the tongue. Taking another slow breath. And then we're going to roll the legs to the other side. Easy does it. Feeling the complete breath as you let your spine release tension with the spinal twist. And one more breath. And let's bring the legs back to center, and we're going to come into Shavasana and continue this mindfulness as we let the spine relax. Arms, wrists, and fingers relax. Notice the release of any residual tension down into the earth. Allow the hips and legs and feet to relax. The ankles, the toes, the feet relax. Just a slow and gentle breath in and out. Feeling the subtle energy entering your body for good health and harmony. And notice that the solar plexus region around the navel is receiving this beautiful springtime energy. And feeling this sense of new possibilities. And now we're going to start to deepen our breath and gently wiggle our fingers and toes. And let's reach our arms over our head and roll to the side. And when you're ready, we're going to come on up to our seated position and bring our hands to our heart as we wish peace for our whole world and our brothers and sisters everywhere. Let's take a deep inhale and sigh. One more time. Namaste. Thank you, everybody. Have a wonderful Friday. So glad you could be here. And so,
Marian.
thank you. Thank you. We'll continue with more Nidra stuff. So glad. And Joni, really, bon voyage.
Yes, thank
Yeah,
you.
we'll be thinking of you.
Have a wonderful
Okay.
trip. Bye,
Yeah.
everybody.
Thank you,
Bye.
everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.